Hi, I'm Amy Mazzi, and I'm with Centurion Boats. And today, I'm really excited that you all are here with us because we're about to celebrate our 50th anniversary. And we are really excited with a bunch of stuff to share with you tonight, but not just with you who are here with us in Winter Haven, Florida, at the site of the World Wake Surfing Championships for 2025, but all over the world. We are live streaming now to share with you 27 minutes of our new 25th anniversary documentary, and that's going to be followed by an epic unveil that you won't want to miss. And then we're going to follow that up with some interviews of some very important people. But I'm done talking up here. Let's check it out.
Built on passion, driven by purpose. Centurion didn't start in a boardroom. It started in 1976 with a love story and a need for speed. From the beginning, Centurion was built on something deeper than fiberglass and horsepower. It was built on determination, family, and the drive to create something better.
Well, I grew up in the San Fernando Valley in Southern California, and luckily my dad was a PE teacher, and we had a ski boat, and I started water skiing when I was 5. I got to high school while water skiing and having this cool boat. My next door neighbor had a drag race boat, and he let me drive it for him. I was totally hooked, and I found that something I had an acumen for, and I loved the trying to make things go faster and tinkering with them, and so I progressed up to Top Fuel and K-Racing runabout circle boats. And then in 1972, I met Pamela, fell madly in love with Pamela, and I talked to her dad, and I told him I wanted to marry his daughter and that she wanted to marry me. And he asked me how I intended to support her in a manner to which she was accustomed. And I said, well, I don't at first, but I know I can make her happy. So Pamela's dad said, well, go start your own boat company. And he co-signed for a loan for $100,000, and we moved to Santa Ana, got a 10,000 square foot concrete tilt up, and Pamela and I sat down, made a list of names, and we came up with the name Centurion. At some point, I realized that we needed a factory, and we wanted to grow into a factory, and Pamela's dad was going to help us come to Merced, because they had a family ranch in Merced. We had access to the Chamber of Commerce, and we had some encouragement from them. They gave us some financial help. So we went and built this factory, moving up there with this big backlog of orders. I had sold a year's worth of production, and then about June of that first year, an economic crash occurred. It was a major catastrophic downturn in the boat business. I looked around and discovered Pleasure Craft Marine, and they were supplying Correct Craft and Mastercraft. And our distributor from the Bay Area suggested you should build a tournament boat. Came out with the first True Track and went to work on trying to learn the tournament boat business and how to create a boat with a consistent wake. And we went through iterations of the True Track 2 with spray rails. We were out testing the boat. We stuck 2x4s on the side of the boat to find out and went up and down and finally screwed them in one spot, and it knocked all the spray down. At one point, that wakeboarding was on the horizon and on its way in, and I had decided to build this wakeboard boat, the Wave, a built-in ballast tank, V-bottom wakeboard boat to convert from trying to make the wakes tiny to trying to make the wakes big. It was literally the first built-in ballast tank boat and wakeboard specific. And during the test phase for that boat, as we finished getting the boat completely refined for wakeboarding, we were back and forth to Lake Yosemite for 2 or 3 months, and head of our R&D department was Tim Lopes. He was a sales guy, but he was also in the R&D field as far as our company was concerned. And he was going back and forth to the lake with us, and we'd finish our testing for wakeboarding. He'd say, "I'll bet I can surf behind that thing. Let me surf behind it." So for a month, he bugged us, and we never said, no, this is a wakeboard boat. We got to stay focused. So we finally finished the boat. We got it just right, and we're on the lake. And he says, "Please, just let me try it once." And so we're done, and I'm with 2 or 3 other guys in the boat, and we said, "Okay, go get your board." He gets behind the boat, and we immediately towed him up to about 20 miles an hour and almost knocked him over. And he's going, "Slow down, slow down." We got down to 11 miles an hour, and he was back there, but we weren't really interested. We were busy in our conversation on how we were going to market the wakeboard boat. And while we're talking, the rope handle flies into the boat at our feet. And the 3 of us look down and we, wait a minute. And then we look back at Tim, and he's surfing the wave without a rope, having a ball, cutting back, and just having a great time. So we surfed all the way across. Lake Yosemite is fairly small, so we surfed the other side, stopped to turn around. One of the guys in the boat yells it back to Tim, "Can you do that again?" So we got him back up again, and we surfed our way back to the launch ramp. And by the time we got back to the launch ramp, everybody in that boat realized that, I realized it. I don't know if the other guys were quite ready to go as far as I was, but I realized that this was a total epiphany, that this sport was going to change towed wake water sports forever. At that point, we diverted all of our marketing, R&D, and energies into the sport of wake surfing. And now, today, when you look out on Lake Tahoe, wake surfing is all you see. Occasionally you'll see a water skier. Occasionally you'll see a wakeboarder. But the majority of the boats out there are wake surfing.
By 2014, Centurion founder Rick Lee knew the company's future didn't hinge on how to build boats. It depended on who would carry the mission forward and why.
Yeah, obviously, being in this town and known Rick forever, and he was deciding what to do with Centurion and the brand, and he was just getting to a point where he, really needed support and assistance to transition this brand that he had poured, his heart and soul into, to the next stage. Originally, I came in obviously for product development, but really helped set up some stages and some flows and some lean manufacturing, and then taking some of his legacy knowledge and generating that into a new era of Centurion was really a fun and rewarding transition. One area that we could use some support was in sales and marketing, and Amy and I worked at another company before and highly requested that she came on board to continue the progress of Centurion Boats. I'm not going to say it wasn't mandated, but it was highly suggested, and knew the fit and the needs of Centurion Company, and I knew what she would do in those areas of needs.
At first, I was pretty intimidated just because the boats were very different. Their focus was very different. Their focus was already on wake surfing, and the rest of the industry at that point hadn't fully caught up. But as far as the way that they innovate and built boats here, I was a little intimidated just because it was so focused on surf that I didn't quite know how I was going to help that along. But I quickly learned that all the branding and marketing still applies. It really helped that I've always come from a spot where I want to authentically market. I want real stories. I want to talk real education about how to use the product. I mean, that's how I think people respond well to the product itself, is when they know everything there is to know about it, even if some of it maybe isn't always the best, that we're real and authentic about it.
Well, it was fun to watch the development of trying to insert people with more talent than I had in their particular areas, because I was trying to wear all hats. And to bring Shane in to drive the R&D was a great advantage. To bring Amy in to run the marketing was a great relief for me. I'd been doing both of those things. And then to end up with Daniel in the presidency was another great move. It was like the convergence of all these factors that complemented each other to create the company to grow above 200 million in annual sales. It was a great convergence.
Another key player arrived in 2015, Daniel Indelicato. Hired by Shane for product development, Daniel brought energy and innovation. He rose to VP of production in 2022 and became Centurion's president in 2023.
Culture is what drives not only results on the backside, but culture drives the morale on your team. It drives the unity. So when you provide a culture like we have now, and culture is kind of a loose term, I think, out there in the industry, but our culture is a very family-oriented culture. You know, we understand that, you know, not only do we want to give back to the community locally, we want to give back to our employees. And so, again, you know, looking at the cultural perspective of what this company provides, and it's not just us, it's Correct Craft in general. And they really help drive the culture from the top. Internally, we have our own culture that may be different than in other companies within the Correct Craft umbrella, but our culture is really good, and we really care about each other.
My main goal when I started was to try and focus and to really boil it down to what is the thing that we do. And at first, you know, it started with, we were the world's best wake surf boat. We were the world's best. We were the one that towed worlds. We still tow worlds. And so therefore, in my opinion, at the time, we were the world's best. And we tried to educate and keep everyone informed about what these boats did differently than everybody else's. And focusing on that really helped us, because we focused on, we were the best, waves, wakes, and ride. And even to this day, you know, the evolution of a wake boat is kind of what we hang our hat on now, but we still use that same verbiage in a lot of stuff that we put out. And that's what we want people to take, is from any conversation that we have the world's best waves, wakes, and ride.
At Centurion, people are the foundation, but performance is the heart of the mission to make life better.
I think the one drive that really helped Centurion is creating the RI series product line. And that just wasn't a new model. That model had multiple items on it that really helped elevate our brand, from custom stitching, custom aluminum accents, the silent stinger patent that's got dual patents, and eventually the Opti-V hull as well.
When it first came out, which was in 2016 model year, 2015 calendar year, the RI 237 was amazing and unlike any other Centurion. It was before the Opti-V hull, so it wakeboarded well. It didn't wakeboard world-class levels, but that came a little bit later in 2018. So I would say the most impactful innovation, the most impactful release Centurion has ever had was the RI series.
Yeah, so product development, you know, when I was in that role, it was really, really fun to see, you know, things evolve, right? And one of those being, one of the biggest projects I probably worked on was the Opti-V bottom wood chain. And that Opti-V hull, which is something that we're still using to date, we kind of changed the innovative side of Centurion as far as what we can do with the wake. It pushed the needle in terms of making better performance, better ride. It changed the size of the wake and how we had to manipulate the wave and the contour of the bottom of the boat. There was a lot of R&D that I would say we did on that boat. And a lot of that R&D, which is kind of funny, it wasn't really CAD. It wasn't the stuff that you would assume like a company was doing at that time, where it's computer-based. A lot of that was Bondo. It was putting fiberglass on the bottom and, all right, this is off a little bit. Let's scrape this side a little bit. Let's get it back to where it's, you know, level again. And seeing the evolution and the process of what is possible, you know, in terms of from an R&D perspective, and getting it from the raw form of where we were to where we are now is really, really cool.
Centurion Boats thrive on a family-like workforce, where dedication and care come together to produce boats that are built with pride, quality, and true craftsmanship.
It's a family dynamic. It's really a family atmosphere. And I use the word family. I don't want to use that loosely, because I've gone to several other factories where you have workers, and you can see that there's really good things being built, but it's a workforce. It's a very special bond that I would say we have, and it's very unique. And again, I would say the family perspective is really how I would quantify what it really looks like from an outsider's perspective. I've had numerous vendors come through, and even people that are customers come through, and they've walked our production lines and met our workers, and they say, man, I've never seen like happier workers. Like, I'm like, yeah, they enjoy being here. You know, they enjoy being here because, again, they're surrounding themselves with good people. They love what they build. They have pride in their work. You can't ask for anything better than that, especially when you come to a factory level employee and a guy that's, putting his blood, sweat, and tears into the product that we're building. That's a great thing to be a part of. And a lot of people really, when they step in, they see that firsthand. And I think that that's what makes us unique, is the fact that from a leadership perspective, we're all very humble. And I think that we all understand that we have a common goal. And it goes back to that one team, one goal, because that doesn't stop just at the production lines. That goes all the way through the leadership levels of our company.
The wake surfing community was formed by a water sport that Centurion Boats popularized. It is the buy-in of these dedicated enthusiasts that has pushed Centurion to become the world's best wake surf boat.
I can't say enough about the events and our pro team, for that matter. And even back then, when you could communicate or share this love of wake surfing with a family, and they got so into it, and then they would take their kids to compete because they were so passionate about it. And then ultimately they would buy a boat, or they would buy another boat, and they wanted it to be the boat that is going to tow the competitions. That's just what they wanted it to be. So our affiliation with that, and that started before me, our affiliation with the world's best surf boat and towing those competitions really made a huge difference, and continues to for us today. And I would say that kind of grew into then our pro team, and specifically our ambassadors. So we have individuals that may not be pro surfers necessarily, but they are speaking, eating, breathing Centurion wake surfing all day, every day. And they're doing it with their families in most cases. And they will be the first ones to take you out and demo you in a Centurion. And again, that is our most powerful tool, is getting people in a Centurion to experience just what the Centurion difference is. And so those events spawned ambassadors, and they continue to do that for us today. And, every surf event, the boats out there towing riders, proving just how advanced the performance is. And then those riders that want to get to that next level in their skill set, they want a Centurion.
We're obviously looking to always grow. We're obviously looking in terms of strategic mindset. I'm looking at where are we going to go in the next 5 years? Where are we going to go in the next 10 years? There's a ton of opportunity, again, of not just market share growth, not just new product out there. There's an opportunity to impact lives. And that's really what we want to do. And that's not just a me thing. I think that's a company thing. I've been very fortunate to see how our boats have been used over the last several years as tools to impact lives for the greater good. And it's not just selling a boat to the rich and famous. It's selling a boat to a person that's using their boat for the betterment of changing lives out there. I'll use an example here is we've partnered up with several organizations over the last several years. Operation Wake Surf being one of them. We have Not on Call. We have Ride Inspired. There's In His Wakes Ministry. So there's all these different organizations that are using Centurion boats out there, and they're using them as a platform to reach people. And it's to reach people, whether it's through ministry, whether it's through reaching people that are underprivileged, or children that are in foster homes, giving them an experience on the water, giving them a day of solitude and some grace and some peace of mind. Again, we want to impact people. We want to change lives. And so that's really, I would say, my goal. It's also the company's goal. Is we can impact one life at a time. That's really what we want to do. And so doing that through boats is fantastic. Doing that through a boat that we're building is even better. And obviously we want to continue to push the envelope with product, push the envelope with innovation, but do it in a way that's going to really change lives.
Centurion is a faith-based company driven by more than just building the world's best water sports boats. We're committed to making a difference. We wake waves of positive change in our families, factory, community, and beyond.
Where we are now as a brand, it's taken us 10 years to get here, not 50. We've really blossomed over the last 10 years for a number of reasons, whether it be Correct Craft purchasing us, the team that we've built internally, the development and design that's happened with the boats and the way that we've kind of gotten our reach further and further out there with customers that we've touched and converted into the Centurion brand. We build boats to the glory of God. That is our ultimate goal.
Our ability as a company to continue to grow market share has been phenomenal. We are the fastest growing towboat company over the last 5 years. We took a market share of roughly 4% or a little below 4% all the way up to 10%. And that doesn't happen naturally. That doesn't happen if you don't have good product. And that's really where it starts from. You can't market something that's bad. You can't build something that's bad. And so I would attribute the starting point of this market share growth really to our R&D and PD&E team.
With all the excitement over the last 10 years surrounding Centurion, the team that we have now in PD&E is really pushing forward the next generation Centurions that are exceeding our expectations.
Shane and that team, Amy and Daniel, have already driven it far beyond any of my expectations, anything I could have ever dreamed of. So that's already happened. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know where the industry is going to go. To watch it gain market share the way it is, and that team must be doing something really, really right to make all that happen. And it's been just amazingly gratifying is to watch it grow it beyond what I had ever thought of.
In celebration of our 50th anniversary, we're honoring 50 years of innovation with a new gold standard.
So the 50-year, it started out as a vision, obviously seeing the boats from the late 70s and 80s and some of the cool colors and the fades and the blends. We really wanted to pay respect to that legacy. The process on the 50-year, it is 3 times the work that goes in a traditional 265 paint scheme. The detail of it, the tape lines, the pinstriping, the fades. It's got 3 different tones of metallics in it with black gel coat. It's just a pretty awesome looking boat.
With our celebration of our 50th anniversary, we use the color gold because that's what you use for your 50th, but we're using it to shine a light on our future, not as a trophy sitting on a shelf that we look at and go, look how good we were back when. That's not what this is about. We want to honor the innovation that has happened over the last 50 years, but we want to honor it with more innovation. And that's where the 50th anniversary limited editions come in. These boats are the coming together of not only all of us and all of the different departments here at the factory to make them happen, but our vendor partners, our dealers, and they are a shining example of what we can do, where we're at now, and what we're going to be able to do in the future.
Being able to do a limited edition 50-year anniversary boat is just really, top on a career list for our entire team. Being able to take a 265 and add all the features and a 245 and add all the features we've always wanted to really set it apart. It was just real exciting to see the team's excitement and drive come to fruition on this boat.
So the 50-year boat obviously is a, it's a work of art in a lot of ways. And you look at where we've come over the last 10 years, right? And again, going back to when the RI series started and evolved from the 237 being launched all the way to where we are now. We've came a long way in 10 years, but really that's just the beginning. We're still in a position right now of growth, and we're in a position to where we have so much good stuff on the pipelines and inside of the engineering teams, design walls. There's going to be some really, really cool stuff that we're going to push the envelope on the next several years. And again, this is just the start, and that's really where we are as a company. We're still in the stage of not infancy, but we're in the stage of where we're walking, and we haven't even started running yet, but we're going to be there soon.
We are proud to introduce to the world the 2026 Centurion RI 265 50th Anniversary Limited Edition.
The new gold standard. you think? Shane and the PD&E team's baby finally unveiled. This thing, I can't tell you how excited we are about it, and I can't tell you how excited we are to share it with all of you first. This is, like I said in the video, this is an example of so many people working together for an honor, to honor 50 years of innovation, something that is really fitting of this signature milestone in our history. And this is it. It's incredible. I'd like to call up Rick Lee, who founded Centurion Boats in 1976. Rick, I know I'm springing this on you. So I told Rick earlier today, I was like, yeah, I'm going to bring you up and ask you a question in front of everybody. Is that okay? I know this is the first time you've seen the boat. I know you haven't had a lot of chance to take it in, but what's your first impression?
It's amazing. It's incredible. It's beautiful, but it's also beautiful because I know what's underneath there too.
Yeah,
so
no kidding.
It's got both.
It is, and we were also so happy that you could be here. And I know Pamela's not here with you, but she's here in spirit, definitely, and she was a big part of all of this. What do you think she would say about the boat?
Oh, she'd be blown away. It takes us back to the original artist series when she came out with all these teal, goofy pastel colors that we had no clue we were going to sell. Scared the hell out of me. But luckily everybody bought them. But this is so far, everything is so far beyond anything we ever could possibly have dreamt of 50 years ago, for sure, even 30 years ago. It's amazing what you guys are doing.
Well, yeah, it all comes from the inspiration that you provide. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, Shane said it too. This is what it's about. I mean, we're trying to live up to and honor everything that you've done with Centurion over the past 50 years.
You've gone far beyond that.
Well, thank you, Rick. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. This is Enrique Vivero. Enrique is instrumental in the development of this particular boat. He is a member of the PD&E department, specifically the tooling team, so he builds our molds and does an amazing job at that. But he designed, with the rest of the team, but I think it was primarily you, designed this gel coat scheme, and then he made it happen. He's gel coated the first two boats, both an RI-265 that you see here and an RI-245 that's back at the shop. And now he's helping to implement the details of this gel coat scheme into production, which is a task. And once you get a little bit closer to the boat, you'll be able to see just how much detail. But I told Enrique I wanted to ask him one question. What are you most proud of with this boat and this project?
Well, first of all, the reactions from everybody here. I mean, it's a really good feeling. So thank you guys very much. Thank you. Just to be a part of this project is pretty awesome. When Shane came with his vision, also with the leadership, and for them to give me the trust and the belief that I'm able to do this, it's pretty cool. And most proud of it, just to look at this work of art. It's pretty awesome. Yeah,
it is definitely a work of art. It's definitely a work of art. Thank you, Enrique. That's so cool. Yeah, this thing, once, like I said, once you get up close to it, you start to understand how much striping, we've got a fade in it that is, basically a nod to that retro 80s look. And it's got every different kind of angle. And mind you, all of this is done by hand. Enrique tapes these lines by hand. And normally, because these boats are so big, they're leaning into a mold and they're taping upside down and backwards to get it done. And it is a major process. How long does it take?
The whole process? To gel coat it? Well, the taping, the whole day's worth of work, and then the gel coat, and also a whole day's work. It's a long process. It's a long process, but the hard work pays off. As you can see, this rare design, it's a nice work of art. It's rare and special, so I'm just happy to be I'm a part of it. And for you guys to give me the opportunity, it's pretty cool.
Well, it wouldn't be here without you. That's for sure. Thank you, Enrique. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're good. You can, yeah. All right, next I want to bring up two guys that I'm sure y'all will recognize. This is Brad and Doug DeBerti. Now, these two are family now, but it was back in the day, not that long ago, a couple years ago, I guess, not 50 years ago. They had a problem with their boat and ended up reaching out to Brandon Riggins at Wake and Water and kind of struck up a friendship with them. They end up ordering an RI 265, and I don't know if you guys know, but they're kind of talented designer, fabricators, you know, a little bit well known. And so we did some special stuff. I say we, I didn't do anything. Shane and the PD&E team did some really special stuff on the RI 265 that they ordered. They came and toured the factory. We surprised them with some of those things. It was really fun. But one of the reasons I wanted to invite them out here is because they are so respected designers, fabricators. I really want to get your opinion on the boat, and so much so that we're sending you this boat, number one. And
Forget Brad.
Yeah. And you guys are gonna evaluate it with Wake and Water and kind of run it through its paces. And I know you'll give us a more detailed review at some point. But what are your first impressions?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you and thank everyone at Centurion for just being so amazing to work with. You told the story, and really our biggest thing is like when we started, diving into Centurion, it was like a family. And so that was the biggest thing for us. And it was so awesome working with you guys. And it just, every day that we work with everyone at Centurion just gets better and better and better. And my dad has designed a lot of things that you guys see on factory vehicles every day. That is still coming out new. And so for us, being designers is a big thing. And I grew up homeschooling and building my own things thanks to this guy. And first thoughts about this boat is, first of all, Shane and the whole design team, this is absolutely mind-blowing. I don't know if a lot of you guys understand what it takes to actually do a gel coat scheme like this, but I don't even know how they did it. I mean, that's...
Well, we've seen them upside down on the boat taping lines, and to get a straight line is... I mean, my eyes see design, and it's not just, hey, let's just do this design. I mean, Shane's brain probably hurts along with the rest of the crew, because nobody understands what it takes just to get to this. So when we come in and we had our first boat, it's like, what could we change on it? And they got it so perfect. It's like, okay, we got to do a bunch of cosmetic and other things than we originally planned to do on the boat. So, kudos to the complete design on the entire boat. Because if the outside looks like this, I can't wait to dive in on the inside.
Did you guys even look at the trailer? Look at the trailer.
The wheels.
I mean, like all the lights, the wheels, everything about it. I haven't got inside yet, but on a design point, this is absolutely amazing, guys. I don't think that you guys could have done anything more to make this look so beautiful. And I just can't wait to see the inside.
I think there was
I don't think
gold
you're
in the
allowed
steering
to
wheel.
see the
Was
inside.
there gold in the steering wheel? Is that what
I don't.
that was?
Maybe.
Is there gold in the steering wheel?
There's 10 grams of locally mined, unrefined gold in the steering wheel, nuggets and flake.
Okay, now you have to worry about someone stealing the steering wheel.
Yeah, this is true. Well, Shane made sure this one doesn't come off.
Well, seriously, just give a big round of applause to everyone at Centurion and the whole design team. It is amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for being here.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys.
That was bad, Kate.
All right. Well, we have a few more very important people that are in the boat, and I am going to ask them to kind of, each one of them, introduce themselves and tell us how they fit into this crazy 50th anniversary celebration. And I'm going to get in the boat. We're not going to film that part, and you're not going to watch. It's not graceful.
Well, hello, everybody. How you guys doing? Everybody good? You guys enjoyed the video? That was great. So my name is Daniel Delicato. I am the president for Centurion Boats, and I am very, very happy to be here with you guys to obviously sit inside this boat, which you guys will all get a chance to see firsthand here shortly. What a beautiful, beautiful artwork and craftsmanship we did here. It's great stuff. So I will let Mr. Horatio introduce himself.
Hello, I'm Horatio Longoria with Billet Industries. I do all the billet work, all the CNC machining parts that you'll see inside here. Yeah, that's what I do. I hook up with Shane. Shane gives me some really good ideas of what to start with, and he kind of gives me the okay to go ahead and just kind of take off and put my own feel on it, and it usually always turns out pretty good.
My name's Shane Stillman, VP of Product Development at Centurion, and have an amazing team that has assembled some amazing products over the year, and just give them all the thanks and all the glory. It's been a fun project.
It has been a fun project. I've got to see it firsthand. So, Horatio, I'm going to start with you. I know you've worked with Centurion longer than me, Shane, Daniel, and I know you've probably done a lot of projects in the past with Centurion and other OEMs. What is your favorite part about this project? Like, what was different about it? How does it compare?
I think it's what I said, that Shane gives me, he tells me what he needs, he tells me what he wants, he kind of gives me how he wants it to work and how he wants it to look, and he gives me the reins of just kind of putting in my own spin, and it makes it really fun.
Oh, that's awesome. And well, and I know the answer to this question, but I don't think anybody else does. How many of your pieces that you created are in this boat? Have you ever counted?
I don't know. We'll call Scott, see how many part numbers we got.
How many purchasing is fine. But I mean,
it's quite a few. There's quite a few.
It's pretty much every piece of gold anodized billet came from you, right?
Right.
And
yes.
Yeah, what's your favorite piece? Like, what was the most fun to make?
I think the 4-cup. We call it the 4-cup.
So it's a cup holder with the 50th anniversary.
I think what do we got? Maybe
years?
4 reds on that, Shane? Maybe.
It's not the 10 grams of gold in the steering wheel. That part.
Well, that too, of course.
Yeah, I mean, come on, that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. We made the part that goes inside there, where all the gold sits inside.
That's awesome.
Yeah, maybe even the glove box too. The glove box really stands out.
Yeah, the glove box is super sweet.
It's really hard to pick.
Yeah, I bet. Speaking of all of those parts and those resources, Mr. Indelicato, how do you go about making the decision strategically to say, we're going to dedicate this kind of resource, both financially, manpower, to a boat that is a limited run, and how do you end up at that decision? I mean, why did Centurion need to do this 50th edition this year in 2026? Why was it so important?
Looking at, I would say this boat is important for multiple reasons. One, it encapsulates our whole story into one boat, right? It encapsulates our legacy with our future, all wrapped together. And I think what's really unique about this boat in particular is when a customer buys it, it's not just another model, right? They're getting a boat that has 5 decades worth of history. It's a boat that, again, I mean, the craftsmanship and the style and everything about it from the inside to the outside is just fantastic. And I think from the employee side as well as vendor side and even the dealer side, I think for us it was something to rally behind, right? We were able to rally behind, again, where we were and where we're going. And so this isn't necessarily an end to the chapter for us. It's really actually the start of our greatest chapter going forward.
That's a great answer. I love that. That's awesome. That's really cool. Well, Mr. Stillman.
Yeah, same.
Yes. Yeah, it sounds like you're in trouble. So I don't know if everybody knows.
Daniel says no.
No, you're not in trouble? Okay, good. But Shane and I have worked together for 28 years. I counted the other day. 28 years. And he also
We're
graduated.
38.
Yeah, for a long time. He also graduated from high school with my husband.
They started building boats when they were 10.
Yeah, so Shane and I go way back, and we've been friends for a really long time, worked together for a really long time. And I know, because we are friends, that how exciting this project was for Shane and his team. But I also know how much it meant to him as far as the project goes itself, that it allowed a lot of his team to grow. And with something that involves our legacy, I think that shows a really strong leader and someone who is willing to, like Horatio said earlier, kind of give somebody else the reins and let them put their stamp on it. Enrique did it, and I think that's really special, Shane. I think you did an amazing job motivating and inspiring everyone to build this work of art. I mean, it's incredible.
Most definitely.
It's incredible. But what was your favorite part of the project? I mean, can you pick one?
Yeah, there's obviously many. But I think, honestly, is bringing that legacy. I was with Rick Lee in a boat when I was 7 years old. I still remember his wife, Pamela, driving us to a beach in a big, huge day cruiser. And that was probably one of my biggest recollections of big water, big boats, and just trying to pay respect to that legacy. Boat builder all my life, but in our PD&E department, we kind of, over the years, flipped the script a little bit on our team on who we are and what we're doing. And I think the biggest part is we have a motto back there: you need to be a teacher and a learner. We don't care where you come from. We don't care your skill set. We care that you have a good attitude, you're positive, you're respectful, but you need to be able to teach anybody anything, and you can learn from anyone. And Steve Freitas, my PD&E manager, is here. Good friend. Steve and I have probably been, 18, 20 years together. And our crew's here: Rafa, Caesar, obviously Enrique. And seeing that crew and team really it's unlimited possibilities when you have that mindset. This boat, we started gel coat samples probably early October last year. And I think we counted about 50, 60 different samples just to get to a vision and a pattern to pay respect to the legacy of Centurion, but also the future of where it's going with the next generation. So that, to me, is kind of one of the biggest assemblies of this project.
No, I think that's a great point. Great point. Amazing. Well, that's about all I have for you guys. And you're almost dismissed. We're gonna stick around here, those of us that are in Winter Haven, and we're getting ready for the first day of the World Wake Surfing Championship tomorrow that's going off in Winter Haven. We're all very excited about that, and those who are here will get a chance to come up and go through the boat. But as far as those of you that are joining us on the live stream, we are just about ready to sign out. If you want more information about the limited edition 50th anniversary boats, please visit centurionboats.com. And we will be seeing you on the live stream for the World Wake Surfing Championship starting tomorrow. Take care.